Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
I don't care. I have nothing to lose. This is nothing to me. I've battled living outside to assaults to jail to just not scared. I don't care. And I'm not trying to cause problems for him. I appreciate him doing the part of letting us in.
A North Fargo woman is fed up over crumbling state of her apartment unit and the building. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Her name is Angela Pallas. She called our whistleblower hotline saying she has nowhere else to go, but she fears facing another brutal Fargo winter without heat.
Pallas says that she went all last winter without it. Valley News Team's Bradford Eric caught up with the tenant about her situation and tries to track down the landlord.
Angela Pallas has a checkered past, and she's open about it.
Spent 6 months in jail, ran away from there in work release and got drunk 3 blocks away. Well, I'm not laughing. Well, it sounds funny now, but I went back. I was such an alcoholic. I just, killed pain with that.
She says she was homeless for several years before finally being able to secure some government benefits and turn her life around.
Ooh, finally, I wasn't going to make it much longer. I had been in and out of detox, struggling with drugs, and I was unhealthy, and to have a home I could heal.
That's when she moved into this apartment building in North Fargo.
I cried. I'm like, really? It was horrible, and it took me 7.5 hours to clean this place.
But she was excited to just have a home. She overlooked many problems.
We never had heat. We used our stoves to heat.
This was her bathroom when she moved in, a huge hole in the ceiling.
This took 4.5 months, the hole here that I'll send you.
The stove has issues.
I use this one right here. Somewhat works, never worked. The cupboards itself will freeze everything inside in the winter. I can't keep nothing in there.
She showed me the outside of the building.
He knew it was broken. Well, that's what happened when it was windy. It's been sitting there since that really windy day.
At least several weeks, she says. Angela Pallas says inspectors have come several times, and they usually find problems, according to these documents. I next tried tracking down the landlord, Chris Allen. A Facebook page lists him as an insurance agent at an address on Main Avenue. Though his name still hangs on a sign out front, the building is up for sale. I checked another address listed as his office, but he wasn't there. I called him and asked why he wouldn't fix the multitude of problems. His only reply was repairs are always ongoing.
We're not asking much. I'm not. Clean carpet, plumbings and fixtures. I'm not asking for the world.
Late today, the landlord, Chris Allen, called me back, saying the building's heat works. It was the thermostat in Angela's apartment that was broken. He was with Angela, and they say they have talked. The issues are being addressed. Bradford Eric, Valley News Live.
Now, the landlord, Chris Allen, and tenant Angela invited us back in a week to check on the progress, and we plan to do so. And we were able to help Angela track down her landlord after she called our whistleblower hotline. If you need help with something, just leave your tip at 701-237-6576, and we'll do our best to get to the bottom of it.
The search is on tonight for a 15-month-old child whose mother is suspected of taking her from a Minnesota daycare center. The child was taken yesterday afternoon in Ramsey, Minnesota. Officials say the mother recently lost custody of the toddler. Officials say she has been acting irrational and has threatened to kill herself. An Amber Alert was issued and says that both the child and her mother are believed to be in danger. They may be traveling in a 2004 black Honda Civic with a license plate reading 386HUJ. Anyone with information should call 911. A question of possible racism was behind an East Grand Forks teacher controversy. We have new information regarding the teacher who was put on paid administrative leave yesterday and then reinstated the same day. Teacher Brian Perkins wrote an email criticizing poor attendance by Somali students. He said it forces him to reteach things, which holds back the rest of the class.
Or did Superintendent Pace take it upon himself to put Mr. Perkins on leave because he thought the email may have been racist?
I think the best way to answer that would be that Mr. Pace put Brian Perkins on paid leave pending investigation.
Now, Palmasino says legally he cannot discuss specifics in his email to teachers and administrators. Perkins suggested better attendance would be a solution to his classroom problems. Palmasino also says that attendance has been an issue for a long time. He says it's something the board is looking into. Meanwhile, some students who took part in the protest outside East Grand Forks Senior High yesterday could be punished. The students said that they protested the way the incident involving Perkins was handled. Superintendent David Pace declined to comment. However, a parent told us that students who walked out of class to take part in the protest are being given detention.
Get out and enjoy the early evening hours. Our stretch of fantastic fall weather is about to do some changing. Let's talk to Hutch to see what's coming up tonight. Hutch?
Thanks so much, Stephanie. But tonight we continue with gorgeous weather. Temperatures in the 60s for now in Fargo. We'll slip into the 50s pretty quickly. Your planner shows this as we enjoy another gorgeous sunset. Notice the increasing high clouds throughout the late part of the day. That trend will also continue. We'll have a persistent southeasterly breeze through the evening. But we stay dry this evening here in Fargo. Take a look at the radar. This is what's heading our way. Bands of very heavy rain pushing up into the northern plains. I'll have timing on this, tell you what you could expect as you go through your Friday, but suffice it to say some very soggy weather is in the forecast for most areas.
So enjoy tonight.
Do it.
All right, thanks, Hutch. The long-awaited testimony of former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has arrived in front of the House Select Committee in Benghazi. Our Washington Bureau reporter, Peter Zampa, has been in and out of the hearing room all day and has more.
Committee members and former Secretary Clinton have put on the show that most expected to see here today. Fireworks erupted between Clinton and committee members and between the committee members themselves. Accusations flying, tempers rising. Clinton is sitting in front of a divided select committee on Benghazi. The word truth has been thrown around throughout the day, each committee member claiming that is the end-all be-all to this investigation. Secretary Clinton, who was sworn in under oath in private, pledged to give them just that, the truth. At the end of the morning session, Clinton did not have to speak at all, as committee members attacked one another, diverting attention from Clinton. When they were questioning the secretary, many accusations of negligence were hurled her way. Clinton wanted the room to know that what happened in 2012 has affected her.
I've lost more sleep than all of you put together. I have been racking my brain about what more could have been done.
That was Peter Zampa reporting. Now, coming up tonight on Valley News Live 10 at 10, we will have reaction from committee members and other lawmakers on the conclusion of this monumental testimony. More than 1 million people in the country live with autism. Many have a difficult time picking up on social cues, understanding others' intentions or their thoughts.
Experts say these things make those with autism more vulnerable to crime and dangerous situations. On a daily basis, police, fire crews, and other first responders encounter people with autism.
And a local mom says North Dakota and Minnesota have come a long way, but there's a long way to go in learning how to handle people with autism. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson shows us how local first responders are creating a safer community.
Kind of my hero. He's the one that inspires me. He works so hard to make progress and get where he's at, and so I just kind of follow suit.
Trisha Page has a 13-year-old son named Kyle. He was diagnosed with autism when he was 3.
It was hard for me to swallow that diagnosis, and we were actually told that North Dakota had nothing to offer. They said if you want any chance of him leading a successful life as an adult, you'll need to move to the East Coast.
Page stayed and became the Autism Services Coordinator for North Dakota.
From a parent perspective, it's never enough, and yet we've come tremendously far.
While people are more accepting and more educated about autism, she says the state needs more tools.
I don't think the compassion is lacking. I think we just need to make sure the education support is there.
Tools for law enforcement like this. It's called Project Lifesaver, trying to bring loved ones home after they wander, a common threat families face every day. The person with autism or Alzheimer's wears this receiver, and first responders have this radio. It finds people in a fraction of the time, using less manpower at a cheaper cost.
We're using parent volunteers.
Bismarck first responders are trained and ready with Lifesaver. They just need families to sign up. And now the idea has been presented to Fargo, West Fargo, and Moorhead.
Those little guys are so fast. I mean, it's not an absent-minded parent. I mean, it's you're watching them run away and you can't keep up.
Hoping to prevent tragedies. Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
State funding will now allow people with disabilities in North Dakota to get the bracelet receiver for free. But local emergency responders need to come up with money to pay for training. If you want to learn more about Project Lifesaver, log on to valleynewslive.com and then click on the hot button.
A controversial apartment complex will be built in Moorhead near Cashwise on 34th Avenue. Churches United was granted $7.3 million to build the 43-unit apartment building that'll be used to house homeless families. Last year, the group was denied the grant. Churches United saying that they're happy about the grant because it is desperately needed. Local homeowners nearby the new complex site say they wish the building wasn't being built so close to the property line and impact the morning sunlight.
Oh, they've got 10 acres there. You should be able to find a spot in that area that you can build a building like that and it won't interfere with the surrounding area.
Churches United say that more people are supportive of the project than compared to a year ago. They add that they are committed to working with the neighbors.
Well, the church was already in place. Today, crews at Bonanzaville were extra careful getting the steeple fastened. We'll have details on that story coming up next.
And in weather, we have rain coming our way. Some of us may see up to 2 inches of rainfall. I'll have details in your hour-by-hour forecast right after this.